What up, everybody? Scuff D here, and today I'm going to do something a little different. This is more of a video for beginner levels, kind of a reboot. I've been doing the reboot on the card by cards. I kind of want to do a reboot for intro, or more importantly, specifically, how to make the most gold, how to succeed, how to get acclimated to the game as quickly as possible. There's a lot of things about the game that we take for granted after going through them, playing through them, learning through them, and there are still new players joining the game, not as often or frequently, but there still are many people who are joining the game and who are kind of behind the eight ball to some degree because some of the things that have taken place through the game have been changed, and I kind of want to talk about those and update those. So this is a video for newer players primarily. If you know somebody who's new, started the game recently, joined your lodge, is new, doesn't know what to do, doesn't know where to start, point them to this video, have them take a look, and hopefully this gives them some pointers and gives them some ideas as far as what they might want to consider, how they want to play, where they want to go. So first off, there are this account that I've got here. This is not going to do any justice, guys. This is the amount of gold that I've got, the amount of gems that I got. That is playing since beta. That's accumulating full collections and then just kind of stockpiling. That doesn't happen naturally, and it's even harder for newer players to do to begin with. So how does a new player start out and get a collection, right? When you start the game, you start the game with just that Loken deck, that Warlord, and whatever cards come. So you get the Loken deck, and you get some Sons of Horus cards in there, and that's where you go. There's a variety of ways for a new player to earn gold. Some of them are very easy. Some of them require a little bit of constant gameplay, grinding, and then some of them also require some interaction with other players, whether that be through lodges or through events through the community, like Discord or the subreddit tournaments. So I'm going to kind of try to break those all down today, talk about what the options are and what the best options are for the most bang for your buck, if that makes sense. So first off, we've got your crates, right? We've got the free crate over here in the window. You've got your daily mission crate, and you've got your challenge crate. Those crates happen daily. They happen, or the free crate happens several times throughout the course of the day. There's very little gold there in the free crate, but there is some. And for a new player, it takes about 20 free crates to accumulate enough to get one crate of purchase in the game. But you get some cards, you might get some gems, you get some cosmetics. Daily missions is going to give you a ticket as well as some cards, and the cards come from all the expansions, so you're going to get a wide range of cards. Typically, the rare is about as high as rarity you get. You can get an epic and legendary. It absolutely happens. I've had it happen several times. And then challenge crates. You can get a legendary in the free crate as well. I should clarify that. You can get a legendary in any of these crates. It's just the odds of getting them are significantly lower. But I pulled a couple duplicate Primarchs from free crates several times, and other players have as well, so it can happen. Then you've got your challenge crates. And challenge crates offer improved rewards based off of how far along in the challenge you've come, but that's sometimes hard to do as a new player, because sometimes some of these challenges require very tooled decks built around a specific thing. For instance, putting in play Troops with Rally, this is not just in one game. You can play 50 games, and over the course of that time play 50 Rally Troops, and you're going to achieve that. That's a lot of game playing, but if you have more of a collection, then you might be able to build a deck that can reach 30 within 2 games. It really just kind of that favors a little bit more long-term or seasoned play, shall we say. So you've got that way. The most easiest way, if you really are desperate, is you can go and pay money for gold. You can actually pay in-world currency. I strongly discourage this. As much as I enjoy Everguild and this game, in terms of paying money for the in-game currency, this is a huge markup for what you're getting compared to what you can get if you just play the game naturally. But some people have got to get it instant gratification, right? They want to be able to open up 150 crates, and they're willing to pay $100 to do that. You know, in some games, I think the value of dollar to in-game dollar works out well. Oh, look, I can get free. Invite your friends. There you go. That's what you can do. iAggression, I think this is new, actually, and that's a good thing. I just noticed that. Invite your friends. You get a refer, right? You're going to get 100 gold, and then when you do that, you also get a refer crate. And the refer crate is very good for expanding your card collection because typically there's an epic. There's at least one epic in there. It could be a legendary even. So it's a good way to go if you have just joined a lodge or if you have friends who are playing. You enter your referral code. You give them your name. They put that in. You guys both get crates. You both get 100 gold, and you can use that 100 gold to buy crates. So that's one way to go there too. But try to stay away from spending cash on gold. If you got to spend cash, you're better off spending cash for tickets. The 10 tickets doesn't seem like a whole lot, but 10 tickets allows you to play the events. And events is where you can make a lot of gold. We're going to talk about events just shortly, but I want to go through the rest of the fixed in-game options for ways to achieve gold. So we've talked about the crates. We've talked about ways to do free crates, which is periodically throughout the day, your daily mission, and your challenges once per day. That's going to vary. You also have got these in-game achievements. Now, these are one-time achievements, various levels here. And as you achieve each of these, you either open a crate, which can include gold, or you open a crate which can include cards. Either which way, you're improving your collection, you're improving your chances of getting new things. And at each different tier, you're going to get stronger tiered cards, right? You're going to get, and some of these are very easy to do, like member of society, join a lodge, register your username, subscribe to the newsletter. These are 3 automated things. Said and done, and by subscribing to the newsletter, typically, I believe, through the course of doing that, you also get the Remembrance or Order legendary card, which is a decent legendary card. Some of these require long-term collection and play, such as collecting different cosmetics or collecting different cards. Some of these you do just by completing the storyline. Logging in for 30 days consecutively. 871 days, baby. Yeah. That's how many days I've done it consecutively. I know what I'm talking about, okay? So there you go. There you go. Some of them take some commitment. Reaching 12 wins in an event, that's challenging at times, depending on the event, but that's a way to go. You can get gold through that. You can get crates through that. And through the course of that, you're getting new cards. Also, every time you level up. Now, there's a level cap of 100. And unfortunately, in my opinion, I think that the level up crate rewards are very disappointing. I know I've pitched, I'm sure others have as well, as far as requesting to increase the level cap from 100. But the goals, the rewards that you get for leveling up to level 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and so on, it's not any different than a free crate or a daily crate. I mean, you might, at level 100, you're guaranteed to get a legendary, but odds are it's going to be a duplicate legendary at that point because you've been playing the game long enough. You might get a legendary you don't have, but the odds are not high. A lot of people often are very sour by their level up crates, and so that's something that you get just naturally through playing the game and winning or losing, but it's not something that you can farm, and it's not something that in terms of getting more for your value out of play, that's just going to happen. You can get some of these very quickly right away. You don't have to win, you just have to play those ranked games, right? Winning is a different story, and then you can join a lodge. I mean, you can get that stuff right away. You can go in and you can find a way at the shop to do that refer code. You can get that relatively quickly right away as well. You can pay money for gold, and that's instant gratification, but again, then you're out money. We're talking about ways for you to do it easily and cheaply for free, because free is better. And then you've got your end of season rewards, which happen at the end of every season. Which at this point it's going to be 8 more days, and then everybody gets a crate. Now, it's not anything that you can farm. You get better if you get better crate rewards for being in the top 50. You get more gold. You get some more tickets. You might get a couple more chances for a higher rarity card, but that requires a lot of play and again a lot of cards. So as a newer player, you're probably not going to be near the top 50 anytime soon, and that's okay. You don't need to be. You don't need to be at the top 50. Your whole point is just playing to get better, build your collection, get to that point. That can take some time. So you've got that. events is really where it's going to take place. That's really where you're going to get the most for everything. And that's why I say play, but if you have to spend money on anything, purchase it on tickets. Because what you do is you play the game. And playing through the event lets you pick a set amount of decks of cards through the course of 6 different warlords. And each of those decks allows you as a new player, ideally, and you want to talk to your lodge mates, talk to people in Global, talk to people on Discord to kind of get some input as far as what decks or what warlords you should be going with, because you don't want to pick one that sounds cool and then is terrible. I remember the first back in beta when Garrow had a not fantastic ability, and I played Garrow because I was like, oh, he's a good character. I want to play the good guys. And he just got stomped by, Corrupted Grolgor, who was an event warlord, and by Oct and Cruz, who was an event warlord, and even by Typhon and Plague Marine. It was just like, I couldn't win. And then I switched over and actually looked at their abilities, and I was like, oh, okay. And then you learn some experience in playing the game and how that works, but you also, through the course of playing events, is you get to play with cards that you don't have, legendaries and epics, and that gives you an idea as far as what cards you want to look for, how to play a certain warlord or a certain faction, what cards are good and what cards are okay, and everybody's on the same level. Everybody has those cards. Some decks might be slightly better than others, but nobody has cards that they've paid money for, and they've gotten more legendaries than you. You're all on the same level. And through the course of playing those games, you, at the end of your run, whether you 3 losses and you're out, if you win 5 games, you get a crate worth 5 victories, and there's gold in there, there's cards in there, and that's really where you get it. Each event crate, from level 0 wins to 12 wins, 0 to 6 typically has anywhere between 30 to 42 gold. 6 to 12 typically has anywhere between 35 to 50 gold. There's not much difference, and that has been changed radically since a long time ago. Those level 12 win crates could have 500 gold a piece, or 300 gold. I think it was 200 to 300 gold a piece, and you could average about 5,000 gold if you did a 10 ticket 12 win run. They significantly reduced the economy in this game in terms of not just in event crates, just across the board. 80% or so was roughly reduced. So now instead of getting that many 100, 200 gold per crate at 12 level, you're getting 35, 42, maybe, if you're lucky, maybe 60. That's like pulling a legendary. There's like 50, 45 is roughly what it typically makes. And that's not a whole lot. That's not a whole lot compared to what it used to be. But as a new player, that is absolutely a whole lot, because if you have just even one of those through the course of playing the game, learning experience, and then just getting 60 gold, or if you did 10 tickets and you get 600 gold, not only are you getting cards in each of those crates, that's 10 crates worth of cards, you're also getting 600-ish gold to buy more cards with, depending on what crates that you're going to go with. And if you manage to make 12 wins, you get your tickets back. So it's very possible if you pick up a good run, or you have just a good solid luck, you could make that 10 ticket purchase good for 2, 3, 4, 5 runs and maximize the amount of gold that you can get. Now that's not an easy feat. It takes a lot of dedication and play, and that there is some degree of grinding and playing that, but you should also be growing your experience. And as you're doing that, again, you're growing your card pool. And that's really what we're talking about, is the ways to grow your card pool. Now you can also play daily in ladder, and playing ranked matches daily and winning gives you 5 gold, and you can do that 10 times a day, and then every win after that is 1 gold. So just by playing and winning 10 times in ladder, that you can get 50 gold that way. That's grindy. So by comparison, if I win 10 games in ladder, I can get 50 gold, and that's all I'm getting is gold and experience if I need to level up, right? If I need to level up and get a level up, great. That's all I'm getting. Or I can win 10 times in an event, and I can get 40 to 50, maybe 60 gold, as well as cards. And if I paid with 10 tickets, I'm getting 10 times that amount instantly. Now, throwing out 10 tickets right away, I don't advocate that. I usually say give it 1 or 2 tickets and kind of test the waters, see what works, see what decks or warlords you want to play before you put in 10 tickets, because you're not guaranteed to get what you want to get. That's always a point of contention for people. Is they put in 10 tickets and then they don't have any good selection, and they're very disappointed with their 10 tickets. That can happen. On the other side, it cannot happen, and it can work in your favor, and then you only have to win 10 games to get 10 times the reward that you would have gotten if you played 100 games. Does that make sense? It's just, that's a quicker way to do it if you are ready to run and go through it. And there's nothing wrong with getting 500 gold and 10 crates worth of cards, getting your tickets back, and then taking that 500 gold, going into the shop, and then saying, okay, now what crates do I want? What crates do I want to buy? And that becomes the big next question. Now that you've got this gold, what crates are you going to buy? Now, they've improved the crate purchasing system to some degree for newer players. So these are important things to note because they really should help you facilitate how or what you're buying. First off and foremost, do not buy cosmetic crates. Do not. Period. Just don't even. It's not worth it. You're going to get plenty of cosmetics in the game. Cosmetics are not new cards. They don't do anything for you. As a new player, you should be more concerned with expanding your card pool versus expanding your banners and your card backs. It just doesn't work. Like, you can't play a card game, buy a deck of card sleeves, and then only buy one booster pack and expect to have a deck. It's not going to work. You've got to have cards first. So, each one of these crates here, except for the faction crate at the end, when we'll show that off. Each one of these crates costs 100. This is where you want to spend that gold. As a new player, as tempting as it is to go in here and go, these are the daily deals. These are faction crates, and what this means is these crates here are going to have cards from that specific faction, at least 3 of them, and one of them is going to be rare or better. That's cool. That's really nice. But it's twice as much gold. And as a new player, even if you really want to play Emperor's Children, you are going to get double you're going to not only get double your value by picking up the Isstvan 3 crate, but you're going to improve your chances of getting anything else that you need, whether that is a legendary for another faction or a neutral card. You're just more likely. You can get 2 of those, and then you get 2 rares, and they might both be for the Emperor's Children, they might not, but it's a better way to go. I don't advise doing faction specific crates unless you have an abundance of gold and you have multiple factions complete and you're really just going for one particular faction. The odds are that if you do get a legendary, you're going to get a legendary from that faction for that faction crate. That's the bonus. That's the incentive for doing that. But again, as a new player, you're talking 30 crates for 200 gold. You do the math. That's a lot of gold that you have to have. And if you have that much gold, you might just be better off getting 60 crates of one of these 100 golds and 2 legendaries. As a new player, legendary is a legendary. Having 2 is better than 1. So that's why I suggest doing these 100 gold crates versus the 200 gold crates. Now, to go with that, then you have to say, which one am I going to play? Which crate am I purchasing? And that is kind of a harder question. That's fueled by several factors. First off, what do you want to play? Second off, what do you need to play? And third off, what is worth playing? In all respects, some of that is just subjective. That's just going to be subjective. If you really want to play Sons of Horus, you've got Loken Warlord already. There's nothing wrong with buying several crates worth of Isstvan 3, and you're going to get Sons of Horus cards, and you're going to get some neutral cards in there, and that's good. That's beneficial. But there are neutral cards in other crates that are very good as well. You've got Breach, Void Engagement, Manifest Destiny, I'm just throwing out, like, even right here, Planetary Purge, Rain of Fire. There's just so many neutrals that can be useful. You don't have to have them; they're not required, but it expands your horizon. But you don't want to just go blindly in purchasing crates. Now, important to note is if you're going to pick a crate, purchase it all the way up until you hit that legendary marker. Now, when I say legendary marker, every crate is guaranteed a rare better, and you might get that legendary. When you get a legendary, there's a timer that resets. And you see here, I've got 2 crates open since my last legendary card. I don't need to purchase Isfahan 3 crates anymore. I have all the cards from that faction. But if you have not received a legendary by the time this timer hits 29, then on your 30th crate, you will get a legendary. Now, typically, the odds are stated as a 1 in 20 chance. A 1 out of 20 crates should have a legendary, but if you don't have it by that point, and you hit up to 30, you're guaranteed to get a legendary. So if you are going to pick Isfahan 3 crates, keep buying Isfahan 3 crates until you get a legendary. Then stop and reevaluate where you're going to go next. Maybe Sons of Horus, you got your Vengeful Spirit, you're feeling good, but maybe you want to try, Alpha Legion now. You're like, all right, well then, I guess I'm going to pick up Extermination Crate. Or through the course of playing your game and your daily crates and your challenge crates, you got, Autillan's Score or the Harrowing, and you want to try Alpha Legion out. Then you go into that Extermination Crate and you pick up 30 of those. You're going to get Alpha Legion support cards. You're also going to get Iron Warriors and Night Lord stuff, as well as some neutrals. And then maybe through the course of that, you find that you got several Night Lord epics, and maybe you want to keep playing Night Lords or keep purchasing after Night Lords. That's one way to go about it as well, and then you keep going. Currently, as a new player, I usually advise looking at the new sets. Now, that's with various mixed results, because sometimes an expansion will come out and it's underwhelming. But 9 times out of 10, and this is true in real life printed card games as well, 9 times out of 10, there's always something powerful in the new set that catches people off guard, because everything that's come before it was designed without that in mind. Right? So we've got Ruinstorm, White Scars, and we've got Blood Angels, right? We've got within that we've got mutations, we've got a lot of fast troops, we've got landing, and we've also got Requiem. None of these factions and previous crates were designed with any of that in mind. Now, they certainly have answers to it and tools to it. There's things that are definitely a way to play the game, I think, through the course of balance, but a lot of the new flash in the pan stuff is still very good. Runestorm is a very powerful faction, so there's nothing wrong with, as a new player, whether you like Blood Angels or White Scars or Ruinstorm specifically or not, if you want to win and feel better in playing the game and have an easier time of playing the game, and that's really your motivation and reasoning for doing it, or if you really do like Blood Angels and White Scars and Demons, and that's really what you want to go into, then there's nothing wrong with just picking up and diving right into a Malevolence crate run and purchasing, a bunch of those until you get a legendary or 2 legendaries or whatever it is. And then that's going to give you a decently strong faction, whether it is one of those 3, as long as you get a Warlord for that faction. It's going to give you a good chance to run those factions well, and wins fuel your gold versus your daily, fuels your ladder, upgrading, your leveling. It all ties in together. So there's nothing wrong with that. That's one other thought process between just like, okay, diving in and supporting and picking and choosing. Through the course of playing events and getting event crates and daily crates and you're going to fill in holes for all of these sets. Slowly but surely, you're going to fill in holes for all these sets. But in terms of starting out right away, in terms of getting 5, 10, 15 crates worth as whatever you're going for, that's the way to do it. And then we've got stuff outside of the game, that actually can get you gold, can get you cards. We've got stuff that I do. I do the monthly community deck building contests. and those follow a certain theme. You submit those to me, and the top winners get the first place gets an epic card of their choice, and second and third get a rare of their choice. Now, there's no gold reward there, but there are cards there, and they're of your choice. So if there's a specific card that's eluding you, or an epic warlord that you want, or a rare that you don't have yet, that's a great way to go about trying to get it. In addition to that, there are tournaments. And tournaments I've talked about before. You can take a look at my videos on tournaments, my tournament talk video and the training cage, to kind of explain how those work. And every often I try to put up community updates as far as what tournaments are taking place. We had the Bar Night Legions last night. There's no gold there. That's just bragging rights. But there's weekly tournaments every Saturday. And the winners of those, those can get a lot of gold. Now, some of those tournaments can be very intimidating for newer players, because as a result, you've got a lot of players with bigger collections playing for the sake of playing. But there are periodically, basically twice a month, there are deck restrictions in terms of deck construction restrictions to even the playing field. In addition to that, that's just the weekly tournament. There's also the subreddit tournament, which is more designed for lower level players, and that means players of lower level or players with less legendary points, meaning you are likely to have gaps in your collection and your experience. But either which way, first place for these tournaments wins 3,000 gold and a legendary of their choice. 3,000 gold, that's 30 crates. What does that mean? That means you get a legendary of your choice. Nothing wrong with picking a Primarch, right? Because that's a great way to get it. Then you get 3,000 gold. That's 30 more crates, which means all the cards in those crates, and that also means because it's 30 more crates, that's another legendary. So essentially, for winning first place, you're getting 2 legendaries, one of which is your choice, and a bunch of other cards from a set that you wanted. And that is a great motivation to play tournaments. Second place is no slouch. Second place gets 2,500 gold. Third place gets 2,000 gold, and fourth place gets 1,500 gold. That's a lot of gold. That's 15 crates. For a new player, that's a way to go. Now again, some of those tournaments, if they're weekly, they've got higher people competing. They've got more collections, but then there are those tournaments as well. The subreddit is the way to go for that, for those less experienced or those deck restriction requirements. There are some times that when they will have where it is just commons only. So decks can only be common cards or common and rares, excluding epics and legendaries, kind of evening the playing field. Player experience is a different factor, but ultimately card collection is not going to exclude you from playing. So take that into consideration too. I've got several players in my Lodge community, some of them which started playing a tournament, and they won their first tournament and got a Primarch, and as a result of that, they were off to the races, and they started doing better in ladder. They started doing better in their weekly, in their event, and they really got enthused and excited about the game, more so than they were already. And that's just a great way to motivate, and it's a great kickstart. And it's like, you can't deny that. You can't deny it. It just gets you. It requires a little bit more effort and commitment, but it's just as rewarding as a 12-win run for crates, or as picking up, if you want to spend $100. I mean, look, 3,000 gold. 3,000 gold by the breakdown here is the equivalent of more than $20 cash. That's not bad. Not to mention then you get a legendary as well. So you're probably getting $50 worth of cash value for a weekly tournament. That's nothing to scoff at. That's actually really good, and that should be really encouraged and promoted. So this is all community. This is all player run. This is all community run stuff that Everguild supports. Unfortunately, it's not in the game yet. I hope down the road sometime they will add a tournament mode in the game, but currently it is not. So as a result, Everguild supports the player community what they can, and I think that's some decent support. That's worth mentioning. So those are the ways to earn gold quickly, fastly. Quickly and fastly are the same thing. Quickly and with the most reward for the effort. I strongly encourage event runs as a new player to give you both a player experience, card exposure for what's out there, as well as the value of exchange for ticket to gold ratio compared to playing daily win, 10 wins for 50 gold versus 10 wins and you get gold and crates and you might even get your card back. You're just going to have a better time, I think, and you're on a better even scale versus trying to get your foot out the door, stumbling around with a bunch of commons and rares and hoping that you squeak it through in the win and don't get frustrated because your opponent at Isfon 3 level spent some money and picked up that Valdor in the shop, which, by the way, let's take a look at the Valdor. I mean, just while I'm on the topic of it, that's not bad. For in-house Everguild art, I like that artwork. The shoulder pelt is a little distracting for me. It's a little excessive, but I do like it. I like that. I like the scowl on his face. So, if you don't have the gems, and as a new player, you most likely are not going to have the gems to pick up Primarch in the shop because they don't come that often. Constantine Valdor is in the veteran shop, and in order to be a veteran, you have to log in and play 5 days or 7 days in a row. It's very easy to achieve that, but it's hard to achieve 1,600 gems as a new player because you only get gems when you pull a duplicate card, and as a new player, you don't have a lot of cards, which means you are not going to be pulling a lot of gems, if at all, for quite some time. So if that's the case as a new player, and you see those daily deals, as much as I don't advocate spending $20 for a legendary warlord, if it is a legendary warlord, is worth it. It's worth it to get you started. It gives you enough to play within that faction, but most importantly, it gives you a warlord that you probably would have a very long time seeing because they don't come to the shop that often. Not to mention, not just long-term seeing, but long time even reaching the gem level to be able to pick him up. Let's say Constantine Valdor came back in 3 months, and as a new player, you're still nowhere near 1,600 gems. That's just through the course of that. So gold versus gems as a new player, gold is a lot easier to come by. Gems as a new player is even harder because when we started the game, we had but one set, so it was very easy to get duplicates of cards for that one set. But now we are on 6 expansions, 6 total sets of this game, and that's great. That's great for the game, but as a new player, that means your odds of getting doubles, duplicates, gems as a result is very, very low. So there is that. Although if it makes you feel any better, at a certain point, you reach a point, as you can see, I've got 215,000 gems. Reached that point a long time ago. I think I reached that point right about here with this Fund 5. No, I think it was Extermination. That's where I reached that point. You just reach a point where there's nothing to do with your gems. You have all the cards, and there's nothing in-game that beyond spending gems on cards. That's it. Supposedly, there's a new mode coming before October, November, December 2021, I don't know, where we will have a new move that allows us to do something with those gems, but there currently is not. So if it makes you feel any better, eventually they just accumulate and they sit and they do nothing. But as a new player, it is a very uphill struggle to get gems from 6 expansions. That's hard to do. All right, that I think covers everything. And I hope that's been helpful for you. I hope that's given you some ideas as far as where to go as a new player. What do I do? What challenges can I go for? Should I do the referral? Yes, you should. This is free. All this requires is a friend in your lodge worth doing it with you. You guys both get cards. You both get a little bit of gold. One more thing I guess I should mention, even though I'm talking about not spending money. If you absolutely must, there is the VIP subscription. That is one way to go about it. VIP subscription for $5 a week, you get an additional card as well as 50 gold in your daily mission crate, an additional ticket. So your daily mission crates will give you 2 tickets and 50 gold. In addition to that, you get immediate access to the veteran shop. You're paying $5 a week for that, so if you are playing through the course of the week, you're going to get 350 extra gold for doing your daily mission. That's not bad. That's 3 crates worth of gold, as well as double your tickets. You'd have to make the call to yourself whether or not $5 a week is worthwhile investment for your game, for your play rate. But it is one way to go about doing so, and that's another avenue. So that's it for me, guys. I hope that's been helpful. I hope you've learned something. I hope you have no problem getting gold one way or the other. And if you have more questions about tournaments or the tournament scene or other ways to get gold, hit me up. Put some messages there in the comments, or check me out on Discord or Reddit, and we'll get in touch, because there's really a lot of options out there, but they're not advertised, and as a newer player, it's really about knowing what is available to you to make the most of it. So until then, keep playing Legions, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.